What's up, fuckers? If you're coming back, welcome back. If this is your first time here, how the fuck did you end up here? Earlier this week, I went on TikTok and Instagram and asked people for questions for a Q&A because I was suggested to make a Q&A video this week. So I will be going through a select few of those. So the first question comes from Marcus BB, and he said, what is your least favorite color? Probably green, or yellow, or red. I even have red in my hair. It's not like this kind of red. I think my least favorite color might fully be red, but not like this kind of red. Or not even like the maroon kind of red, but like a Coca-Cola red. A red that's like so harsh and intense. That red makes me uncomfortable, and I don't like it. So red. Okay, I'm gonna try to read this, and I know that I sound like a Caucasian middle school substitute teacher, but I'm probably gonna get this wrong. Nick Bellavow, 1917, said, what is the country you would like to visit the most? And I would like to go to Sweden. No particular reason why. Other than it seems amazing. I think I would go visit Sweden and then become an illegal immigrant and never come back to the United States. It seems like a fucking plan. From Peculiar Oddity, what was your absolute worst customer and what was your absolute most pleasant customer? Sorry if you've answered this before. Laughing sweat emoji. Don't apologize to me! Totally unnecessary. I'm sure I probably have answered this before, but if I don't remember, then who gives a shit? Okay, so actually here, I'll just tell you my top 3 worst because it's tied between these 3 people, okay? So, number 1 is this group of 3 women, and it was during like a cheerleader weekend or a Christian convention or something. It was super busy, like crazy busy. I know you guys don't know where I work because if I said where I work, then I'm scared that somebody's gonna show up and kill me, because one time this guy found out where I worked and he showed up drunk, asking for sexual favors in exchange for a $15 tip. Ugh. I just got so off track there. But at my restaurant, when I say it's busy, I'm talking it's so busy. We are high volume, fast paced. We're locally owned, so the owner comes in every day at lunch and plays hostess, and let's just say he does not care about rotation. So you could get sat 8 tables at once, and it has happened, and this was just one of those days where I got sat 8 tables at once. And one of the tables was these 3 old mayo monkey bitches. People say I'm ageist, and I'm not proud of that, but I'm also not gonna deny that it's probably fucking true. So these 3 old women, I greet them with waters, and they're the last table that I greet. When I get sat with 8, we have to greet all our tables with water, so I get a whole ass cocktail tray full of waters, and my section's super close to each other, so I set down the waters. Hi, my name is Santana, here's some waters to start you off with, and I'll be right back with you in 1 second while you guys look over drinks. Then I turn around and I do that to the next table, then I turn around and do that to the next table until my waters are clear, and they were the last table. And that's when I take orders going back. So I get all waters going out and take orders going back, so I get everything in at once. And so I tried taking these women's orders, and they all ordered salads. They ordered Cobb salads, and our Cobb salad is tossed in a red wine vinaigrette. And so when the salads came out, pre-tossed in the red wine vinaigrette, one of the ladies asked for ranch, which meant that then the second lady wanted ranch, and then the third lady wanted ranch. And I informed them, it's already tossed in a dressing, and said, okay, and they're like, oh yeah, no, that's fine. I was like, yeah, okay, sure. So I run up to the window, and I call 3 sides of ranch, and then I have to go take care of my table, so I have the manager run it. The manager runs the ranch, and the old 3 ladies are sitting right here, and there's a table right here, and I'm facing this table, and I'm trying to take their order, and it's a mother and her daughter, and they're very sweet. And these ladies put their ranch on their salads, and then immediately start yelling, oh my god, this isn't ranch? Oh my god, who would do this? Excuse me, ma'am, excuse me. And that's when they start poking me in the fucking back, and I cannot stand when people touch me at work. I can't stand being touched in general, but when strangers at work do it, okay? And so they were actively poking me in the back, and I'm still talking to my table and answering their questions about the menu. They're poking me, and the mom at the table kind of looks at me like, oh my god, are those women really doing that? And I just like give her a wide eyes like, please keep talking to me. And she's like, you know, I need a minute. If you need to, you can go ahead and take care of that table. And I was like, thank you very much. And I turn around and I said, yes. And then all the ladies are just like fucking flabbergasted. And the main lady goes, we ordered ranch and you gave us sour cream for our salads. You ruined my salad. Why would you do that? Why would you go out of your way to bring me sour cream to ruin my salad? And I said, ma'am, that is not sour cream, that is ranch. And she said, no, I tasted it. Do you think you know better than me? I tasted it, you didn't. And I said, ma'am, we use a sour cream based ranch. It's not going to be thin like Hidden Valley. It's thick. It's more like a dip, but that is ranch, not sour cream. And she still keeps insisting that it's sour cream, and I tell her that it's not. And then I just get like fed up, and I just fucking like fuck you, and I start leaving, and like leaving, like heading the other direction. And I go to my manager, and I'm like, those women over there, like straight up pointing at them while they're staring at them, like those women over there are convinced that the ranch that I gave them, or the ranch that whoever ran it to them, is sour cream, and it's not sour cream. I need you to talk to them. I'm too busy for this. And so he goes over, he talks to them. I don't know what is exchanged, but they all order burgers instead. And their burgers are all free, and their burgers are fine. And suddenly they're lovely once they have their burgers. And then we send out 3 ice cream sundaes also for free. So their whole tab is for free. And they got salads, so like fucking appetizer, burgers, entree, ice cream, dessert. They all drank teas. They made a fucking mess. They harassed me in front of another table, and their tab was completely free when I told them like we took care of it because of all the inconvenience that we put them through today. And then they didn't even tip me. So that's number 1. The second most absolute worst customer dude that I ever had was when I was working in fine dining, and at this specific spot I was a cocktail waitress. And this douche canoe bitch ass Chad looking motherfucker came in with his Karen girlfriend, and I kind of felt bad for Karen because he was an asshole to Karen. Karen was kind of a bitch to me, but he was an asshole to Karen. And so they're just like being really nitpicky throughout the night, but what made me hate him was his girlfriend dropped her knife on the ground, and he like snapped me over. And I came over and I saw the knife on the floor, and I was like, oh my goodness, let me go bring you a new knife. Would you like me to get that out of the way for you? And he goes, what do you mean would you like to get that out of the way for her? Do you think we called you over not to get the knife out of the way for her? Do you think we're just going to leave the knife there? She's just going to eat her steak without a knife? And I was like, I was just confirming before I reached under the table. We wore short black skirts and tights, and I wore fishnets more often than not. And so I got down onto my knees instead of bending over because I was in a short skirt. And when I got on my knees, he said, oh yeah, that's how I like my women, on their knees in front of me. And so I grabbed the knife and I tossed it at the table like that, and it like clattered on the plates, and I walked away, and like a manager had to go over and handle the situation, a bartender had to go over and handle the situation. I refused to wait on them for the rest of the night. It was like a whole thing. I almost got fired. Number 3 wasn't, and this is why, like, okay, I'm not sure whether I should be including number 3 or not, because number 3 wasn't actually my customer, but it was a customer at the restaurant that I was working at. And so it was this 8-top that came in, these eight guys, like oil field workers. It was like this oil field worker convention in town or something like that. 8 of them sit down. They're kind of drunk, but one of them is way more drunk than the rest. And that one doesn't order food. He said that he wanted bourbon for dinner, and so he had been drinking like bourbon throughout the night. And as the food is coming out to that table, I have a table around that table, and another server has one around that table. So the food's being ran to the 8-top of men, and 7 meals go out because only 7 people ordered. The 8th most drunk guy gets up, and this dude's like huge. He slams his hands on the table, gets up, and yells across the restaurant, hey, where the fuck is my fucking food? I'm fucking hungry. And like, oh God, like he was so loud and so angry, which caused my table, who had children there, to pay out immediately and not tip me because that was somehow my fault. Another table that was in the area that another server had, they paid out immediately, did not tip him, and then The manager that was on duty that night was a kitchen manager, and he was like really shy and didn't really like fuck with front of house things. It was like it was supposed to be a slow Sunday night. And so instead of like telling that guy like he can't yell across the restaurant like that and that he didn't order anything, you know what he got? You know what he fucking got? This dude got a free fucking short rib. My manager got him a free short rib. It was ridiculous. But yeah. I don't know out of which one of those is the worst, but they're all like pretty terrible. There is another customer that wasn't my customer who like got really drunk. This was another fine dining spot. Got really drunk and like shit her pants and like had shit dripping down her dress and like on the carpet as her friend like brought her to the bathroom. But that's none of my business. And then the absolute most pleasant customer. So I get pleasant customers all the time. It's whether or not they're a good tipper is the thing. Because people can be like pleasant and nice and enjoyable all the live long day, but then if their tip doesn't reflect the experience that they actually had, I'm still shit out of luck. So I'll take a rude customer who tips 25% over a nice customer who tips 10% any day. But the most pleasant customer I ever had was, again, another time when I was working in fine dining. This guy came in, ordered 1 glass of wine, sat out on the patio. It was a nice day. It was like a day that I wanted to be out on the patio. It was like just at the cusp of fall and it's like getting nice and cool and stuff. And it was just nice to be outside. And I was working like 13-hour shifts every single day at this point, so I never got to go outside. So he ordered a glass of wine and he asked me like, what's a good spot to eat around there that's not a steakhouse, because he didn't want to eat steak and I was working, the place that we were at was a steakhouse. And I like recommended him some places and then he paid out and tipped me like $450 cash. That was awesome. From Music and Food 218, she said, if you were on a deserted island, what 3 items would you bring? Love your content. Thanks, boo. But, 3 items. A book on how to survive in a deserted island. Why? I would die within a day and a half. 2. A water purifier. Because I don't like non-purified water. And 3, a cell phone service to call somebody to save me. I'm sorry if that's disappointing. I'm disappointing. From Haley, not Haley, 8818. What is one piece of advice you'd give your 16-year-old self? You know, I think about this all the time, actually. I think about, like, if I could go back and change something about my fucked up, shitty teenagehood into adulthood, what would I change? And there's so much that, like, in theory I'd like to change, but for the most part, I'm really happy with where my life has brought me so far. And I don't want to do anything that would change it. However, maybe don't lose your virginity when you're not ready to. I think that's the only thing that I would change. Mr. 60 says, who inspires you? Nobody. I don't think anybody inspires me. I feel lack of inspiration on a daily basis. I think the only inspiration I have is that one day I want to live in like a house, not in Texas. I want to leave Texas. I want to go to Colorado and I want to have a house that's mine. And I think owning property inspires me to work hard so that I never have to worry about being homeless ever again. Anna Mai Shelley says, can we be friends? You know, I get this question a lot. Can we be friends? Of course we can be friends. My dears, my loves. I would love to be your friend. What you guys don't understand is that I am a shit friend. I'm very bad at responding or being active and engaged because all I like to do is get high and do nothing. And so that's what me and my close friends do. And that's why most of my friends don't hang out with me, because I'm a bad friend. But yeah, sure, we can be friends. Favorite strain of weed? Hold that thought. So I actually don't have a favorite strain of weed. It's kind of like if it gets me where I'm trying to go, I'm good with it. But what I do is ask what strain it is when I buy it, and then I look it up in this. This is a pocket guide to pot, and it has like every single strain with pictures and stuff. And so, like, let's say this week they tell me that it's cherry pie. I would look it up and I would learn that cherry pie is a hybrid. Its lineage is GDP and Durban poison. You're gonna get smells and tastes of lemon, cherry, and acrid. The common effects: body buzz, relaxing, focused. Top medicinal uses: stress and anxiety. Award: cannabis cup. Cherry pie reeks of sweet and sour cherries. Blah blah blah. And it looks like this. And so that's That's how I learned about strands, but I wouldn't say that I'd necessarily have this one single favorite one. Jenna Jenkins says, do you have any tips on how to improve yourself? No. I don't think I've ever improved myself. I kind of just, when an opportunity presents itself for me to improve myself, I just do something different with my hair. So, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. I think you should just accept yourself the way that you are, and if you're not happy, you should try to pinpoint where you're not happy and do what you need to do to change that. But I think it's different for every single person, and you shouldn't try to compare yourself to any one person, because everyone's going to handle everything differently. Jay's Skides 89. Favorite Robin Williams movie? Can be one from each. Comedy category, serious category. So comedy, I feel like this is going to be kind of disappointing, but Mrs. Doubtfire is by far one of my all-time favorite movies. Every single time I watch it, it takes me back to a simpler time. To a time of childhood before anything bad had ever happened. And everything is just good. It's just such a good, funny movie about a man cross-dressing as a woman to spend more time with his children. And then serious category, I guess Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting is really good. From Sphinx Cat Lady, she says, with all your experience in the service industry, have you ever considered writing a book? No, and the only reason that I would say no is because with my experience, I would advise people, don't spend money to learn things that you can be paid to learn. And everything that I can teach you in a book, you will be paid to learn as a trainee in any restaurant or bar or wine bar kind of setting. I'm not so good with the words. From Alice Asmaras, I hope that's how you pronounce it. Do you remember the first moment you started to doubt your faith? As soon as I got into it. If you haven't checked out my most recent video, it's the one that's posted right before this one, but I go into some of these questions about being Pentecostal, and I answer this one in there. But like, if you wanted to check it out, you'll get more of an in-depth kind of answer. But I never really believed. There were certain points when I really wanted to believe. But like, I never got to a point where I had any true faith. So I doubted it the whole time. From Crystal Leo 20, what is the brand and color you use to get that beautiful color on your hair? This is Ion Semi-Permanent Dye in the color Cherry. And then this is Ion Semi-Permanent, the dark part is Ion Semi-Permanent Hair Dye in the color Darkest Brown. And then this purple is Ion Dye's Semi-Permanent Plum. In regards to your art, how would you want others to describe it? So I don't know what art you're talking about. I'm not sure what art you're talking about because like I'm not an artist. But if you're referring to the art that's around my apartment, these are actually my boyfriend's art. He draws these. They are hyper-realistic, hand-drawn charcoal portraits. He really likes doing his most favorite artists, and he's done one of me, himself, and a friend of ours. He's done Mac Miller and J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. He's done multiple Kendrick Lamars on smaller scales, and we just hang up the biggest ones. Alright, so that's all the questions that I have to answer today. But yeah, that's all. Okay, thanks, bye.